I'm too tired to hold back my autism. That's the problem today. Just a little bit too tired to hold back the old autism. You know what I mean? We're good, though. We're good, though. It's all going to seep out slowly, but that's good. I've been trying to look for the Poirier versus Hooker full card. I have yet to find it anywhere online because it's only $1 billion company. Why would we know what the card is? Hilarious. What's up, Corey Johnston? How are you, good sir? How are you today, good sir? Guru, what's up, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? How's it going? We're live. We're doing a damn thing. We're talking some MMA. We're gonna fucking unload our fucking MMA everywhere. How's you, Guru, today? I'm doing good today. I'm doing pretty decent. The results of the fights last weekend were not what I would like them to have been, but still I was not emotionally invested enough in the people I wanted to win to actually feel crushed by the results. However, I am thoroughly fucking disappointed that Roosevelt Roberts lost. Thoroughly disappointed because we can't have nice things in the UFC. But that's okay. That's okay. You know, and Shane Burgos didn't get through because, 35-year-old Emmett's got to make a run. That's okay. That's okay. Hey, Guru, how's it going? Blaydes doesn't get enough credit. I mean, a lot of people shit on Curtis Blaydes for his performance against Volkov. He beat Volkov for 5 rounds. Like, I know he lost the last 2, but still, he fucking showed he can go hard for 5 rounds. Like, the first 3 rounds, fair enough, like, Volkov was... fair enough, it wasn't action-packed in terms of ground and pound, but still, it's a tough fight. Volkov is a tough fight to get past. So, yeah, Blaydes did it. So, good job, Blaydes. Kind of glad Roberts lost. He was so arrogant. Yeah, but we want that shit, man. We need the arrogance. We need to call in what your next opponent is. Beat Jim Miller, fight Matt Frivola, then take a jump up against maybe a Lando Venata once Lando gets one more win. Then get the ranking shot. Like, it was just such clear progression for Roosevelt Roberts. And Miller just fucking throws an inside leg kick when Roberts throws a front kick. And here's where we are. Oh, well. What did you get your dad for Father's Day, Guru? Just some good vibes, you know? Now, I got him like this Motorhead thing. He likes old stuff. MMA gyro. Dad is going to pick him off from a distance and the calf kick the shit out of him. Do you think the next opponent is Mystic Mac? I do believe so. I think that Dan Hooker is going to beat Dustin Poirier. I actually wanted to discuss some predictions here because I don't know where the card is because I can't find it. The prelims have not been updated. However, on the ones that are there currently, I'm telling you this, I like Gian Vellante as an underdog. I really like Gian Vellante as an underdog. But we'll see what happens. The Dagestanis were frenetically jerking each other off while watching Blaydes do work. I know, dude. They love it. They love that shit. Oh, double legging. Oh, what did they expect from Blaydes? I thought Blaydes looked pretty good, man. He showed a lot of technique. He just got the win, which is what he needed to do. So I'm kind of glad that he got it. I didn't really mind how he got the win. You know? It was just like, so long as he got the win, I'm okay with it because he needed to. Because if Volkov won, we'd be in a pretty bad situation because we need Blaydes around. I think Poirier cracks Hooker hard, comes in reckless as he always does when he hurts someone and gets slept by a knee. I just watched Poirier Alvarez. I know, that's exactly what I saw. Poirier comes in like this with his chin way out in front among everything else, and the punches come second. It's crazy once Poirier's got someone hurt how reckless he is. I feel like Hooker's going to get him. I do. And Ngannou Lewis was worse because it was supposed to be good. Blaydes is a wrestler. It's not that fun to watch, but it's impressive indeed. It's like, well, we kind of got what we signed up for. Like Blaydes versus Junior Dos Santos, hate to break it to you guys, wasn't interesting until Blaydes landed the big shot. Fair enough, it was a bit more exciting because they were on the feet and anything can happen on the feet. But still, the Dan Hooker is KO artist now. Yeah, he just went to a decision with Dan Hooker, KO'd Jim Miller, KO'd Gilbert Burns, KO'd James Vick, KO'd. Like, one decision doesn't make you not a KO artist. You okay, dude? Cool. After rewatching the Emmett Burgos fight, I think it was a draw. I scored it originally for Emmett, but I think Burgos handily won the first 2 rounds. I watched it again. I thought Burgos could have got the first one. I'm okay with the decision now. I don't think it's a robbery because I can see both sides of the coin. Like, fair enough, Burgos clearly outlanded Emmett in the first round, but listen, I get it. I get it. I thought it was close. It could have been a draw. It could have gone to Burgos. It could have gone to Emmett. There are many ways of scoring that fight, but I think Emmett should have won. Overall, in the case where it could have gone either way, I think Emmett edges it. You know, because it could have gone any way, that fight. But I think Emmett gets it, just because if there was a winner of that fight, it is obviously going to be Emmett because of the way he did things in the third round. I'm not saying the third round wins him the fight, but just if it was a draw, the consensus would be that Emmett won, I feel like, you know? Can Emmett beat Qatar? I don't know. I want to see what happened to his knee, because if he has permanently torn his ACL now, that's a problem for me, because that's something that's not going to get better over time. Like, that's only something that's going to hinder your performances in the future. But he did look good against Shane Burgos, but Calvin Qatar is a little bit more patient, doesn't wade into damage, has a great chin also. Like, Burgos and Qatar are very similar in certain ways, but Qatar is basically a patient and IQ-based Burgos. Burgos is just, I'm going to make it disgusting and I'm going to take every shot you have and I'm going to get the better of it in the end. But Qatar's like, I'm not going to take every shot you have. I'm going to try and out-jab you. I'm going to try and outland you. Like, Qatar's way less okay to eat the big shots. So I think it's going to be a different fight. I think it's going to be more just nothingness for the first round. You know what I mean? Rather than all-out war straight away because Burgos is initiating it, I feel like it's going to be more both of them sitting on the outside, both of them feinting, both of them looking for openings. It's going to be way more technical than Burgos versus Emmett was, in my opinion. And I think Qatar beats him. Who wins, Rakic or Johnny Walker? Rakic would win against Johnny Walker. I like Johnny Walker, but he's got some things to work on. I think Johnny Walker should honestly take on a bum. Just take on a bum. There's no harm in taking on a bum when you're coming off 2 losses. That's what you're supposed to do. Let me look at these rankings outside the top 15 at light heavyweight, because Johnny Walker, we need to see him back in there reasonably soon. Probably before the end of the year, preferably. I think around September would be an amazing time. Maybe stick him on the prelims of Stipe versus DC, free, UFC 252. I think that would be somewhat decent. Let me look at the light heavyweight division. Johnny Walker's next opponent could well be Alonzo Menifield. Johnny Walker's 3-2. Menifield is 2-1. Let's just fucking Hail Mary that one of them at least stays inside the UFC, because Alonzo Menifield is, what, 34 now? He's not going to be sticking around for long. I would honestly not mind if they did Johnny Walker versus Alonzo Menifield. But also, if they wanted to do Johnny Walker versus Paul Craig, that's a great fight as well. A lot of good fights to make for Walker, and I think he could win a lot of them. Marlon Moraes versus Aljamain Sterling 2. Who wins? Marlon Moraes would win. I like Aljamain Sterling, but I don't know, man. I don't think Sterling's improved. I understand that Sterling's improved, don't get me wrong. But he's not a completely different guy than the guy that fought Moraes. And Moraes was able to stop the takedowns pretty easily and do better on the feet. I think knowing what Moraes can do makes guys fight worse against him. Actually, I don't know. Moraes is a difficult one. Moraes either shows up big or kind of shits the bed. It's a pretty difficult one. I think the fear of knowing what he can do to people really makes people fight differently. You know, because when you're coming up, I mean, Sterling can go into the Sandhagen fight and probably know that he's not going to get KO'd. You know what I mean? But with Moraes, that threat is there at all times, and it just changes the way Sterling's going to approach things. So I think it'd be interesting to see Moraes land a few leg kicks maybe. I don't know. It's a close fight at bantamweight. Every fight's a toss-up at the moment there. Walker versus Clinton Abreu rematch. I mean, I don't know about that one. He's number 29 in the division. I really don't know about that one whatsoever. Let's not do that one. That sounds good. Let's just not do that one and not listen to your suggestion. Paul Craig or Alonzo Menifield. They're both higher ranked. Or they could maybe see who loses out of Kutalaba versus Ankleev and do him versus the loser of that. But that's going to take a while, so maybe not do that. But there's some good fights to make. Maybe Devin Clark versus Jimmy Crute. Ryan Spann versus Misha Serkinov. There are great fights to make all round. Nikita Krylov versus Glover Teixeira already happened. Went to a split decision. Never mind. It happened too recently. We're not going to be making that one. Krylov versus the winner of Smith versus Rakic, maybe. Sounds good. Paul Craig. Who wins, Rakic or Smith? And why is it Smith? It's not Smith. It's Rakic. And Rakic is going to win viciously. Thank you. Emmett is such a moody twat. Did you see him just complain about his knee in the post-fight press conference? He wasn't even happy he won. Yeah. I just seen him complain about he's not getting a push. If you're meant to get a push, you'll get the push. Like, don't get me wrong, Emmett is very marketable. And listen, Emmett's talking about how he's not getting a push. Just a co-main event of a fight night. You were the main event against Jeremy Stephens. You lost that one. That's not the UFC's fault. If you went out there and KO'd Jeremy Stephens in the main event, and actually, when he did knock down Stephens, maybe that was the end of the fight and he got the job done, we'd be looking at a completely different outcome. But, you know, people complain about not getting a push when they've been given opportunities and it doesn't go their way. So you got to rebuild. This is what happens. Josh Emmett's next fight is probably going to be a main event. That's the natural progression of the fighters. Rip James Vick. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know what happened to James Vick. Is he actually dead? I'm not sure. If Usman beats Burns, he should call out Jorge, saying something along the lines of, what BMF lets another man take his title shot? This will pressure Jorge if declined again, look like a bitch again. Masvidal's fans are turning against him so rapidly. It's worrying, honestly. As an old Masvidal fan, it's worrying to see because it don't go the other way. Even if he wins, people are... It depends who he wins against. I think the only thing he could do to save face would be to take on Leon Edwards. That's the only thing he could do. If he takes on Nate Diaz again, they're completely going to switch off of Masvidal. James Vick got KO'd by a gust of wind last Saturday, and he hasn't woken up since, wishing his family the best. Come on, guys. Hopefully Gaethje can beat Khabib, and then Conor beat Gaethje, and then Conor beat Khabib as a champion, then retire. You are now slightly out of breath. I understand. Oh, from reading your sentence? No, I wasn't, dude. Come on. I breathed before. I am a little bit out of breath now. You mentioned it, though. Hopefully Gaethje can beat Khabib, then Conor can beat Gaethje, and then Conor can beat Khabib as a champion, then retire. It'd be interesting. I reckon he shouldn't retire if he beats the 155-pound champion, whoever it may be, at the end of the day. Khabib as champion, defend as a champion. I just feel like if Conor does get the 155-pound belt, why would he not attempt to go down as the greatest of all time and take the 170-pound belt as well? Because being a champion in 3 different weight classes, you're the GOAT. You're the GOAT, regardless of your wins and losses, especially if you beat Khabib along the way. That's tough to argue not being the GOAT in that case, especially if maybe Usman keeps defending at welterweight and you somehow beat Usman at 170. You're the GOAT. That's just how it works. Wow, James Vick passes. Don't know what that means. I think it's just disappeared. James Vick passes away at 31. I don't think that's true, guys. Conor sucks ass. Guru, I won't even begin to try and spell his name, but what are your thoughts on the guy that quit between the rounds last night? Max Roshkov. I don't mind it. Listen, it's got him way more attention than any normal fight to start off the prelims of a card. Whoever talks about the early prelim opener? No one. No one talks about the early prelim opener. And now he's this worldwide MMA community discussion. So kind of good for his career. I think they should put him in the contender series. I don't think they should re-sign him to the UFC because he's 5-1. It's not the best record in the world. I think they should build a storyline of redemption. Have him fight on a contender series on a full camp against an up-and-comer. Hopefully beat him. Maybe have him fight again on a contender series and then give him another chance in the UFC. Those contender series guys make decent money. I think they make 10 for 10 or 5 for 5. They make 10 grand overall. It's pretty good pay. Especially considering regionals don't really pay that much whatsoever. You can get like a grand to show, grand to win. Masvidal versus Edwards. Who wins and why? Edwards would win against Masvidal. Way more patient. He's a lot rangier as well. He's a lot more controlled as a striker. I think Masvidal's changed his style for the worse once he comes up against the right opponent. You know what I mean? Masvidal's old style was a little bit more technical. I think after beating Nate Diaz, listen, Leon Edwards ain't Nate Diaz. You can land no shots on Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is just going to stand there and take them because he's a terrible fighter. Not a terrible fighter, but just sloppy and not technical and not good. But not terrible. I'm not saying he's terrible. He's tough and he's got a good chin and he's got a good gas tank as well. But, you know, in terms of how he looks on the feet, like back in the day against Michael Johnson, Conor McGregor, he looked pretty good. But against Masvidal on the feet, he looked like he just didn't train, in my opinion. But still looked good because he's tough and shit. But I just feel like Leon Edwards would beat Jorge Masvidal pretty badly. But I think it's a good storyline. Edwards needs one more win to get a title shot, and that win might well be Jorge Masvidal. That's a perfect fight. Guru, I'd like to see Dana bring that guy to the Performance Institute and get him training again and make him fire that fucking coach. I have no problems with the coach whatsoever. No problems with the coach whatsoever. A lot of people are shitting on the coach. Any other coach watches their fighter have a round like that where they just lose a round, then the coach is thinking, right, we just need to get him back together in the corner and get him back out there in the third and get the job done. Like, it's not like he was getting battered a huge 10-8 round for Austin Hubbard, just completely obliterating him. You know? Fair enough, he was saying no in the corner. But if you're a kind of coach that takes the first answer from your fighter, literally, I don't think you should be a coach. Because every fighter probably doesn't want to get back into the second round. So you really got to be sure. And eventually he was sure. And he said, you know what, you've said no enough times, we'll call it off. I don't know, man. I don't think the coach is to blame, because if I was the coach, I'd be trying to rally my fighter there to get back in the cage, because I don't think he was. It's not the Smith situation. It's not Anthony Smith Glover Teixeira. Even Anthony Smith Glover Teixeira is a little bit blown out of proportion, but you know. Retriever 2, remember, like 6 months ago or longer ago, you and I got into a bad argument on here. Okay. Does Bilal Muhammad get ranked, or does he need one more? Oh, he needs one more. Bilal Muhammad isn't highly ranked in the welterweight division anyway, I don't think, because he had some losses that kind of hold him back. The Jeff Neal loss kind of holds him back. I wonder where he's going to be ranked now. Bilal Muhammad is ranked number 32. He beat Lyman Good, so I'm assuming he's going to slide up to maybe around the Jake Matthews area of 25 to 30. And then maybe he should take on Neil Magny or I like the Santiago Ponzinibbio fight makes sense to me, and the winner of that can get a spot in the 10 to 15 range of the rankings. I think that makes the most sense. When did you go live? Just now, 16 minutes ago. So not just now. If Covington versus Usman 2 happens, who wins? If it happens now, Usman would win. But if Colby gets time in between and looks like his old self again, I think Colby would beat him in a rematch. No groin shot, no fake groin shot, no fake eye poke, no illegal shots to the back of the head. Yeah. What if his jaw doesn't break this time? As much as people say that Usman broke Colby's jaw, like, you can hit a jaw 1,000 times. Guys get hit in the jaw 1,000 times. Like, Emmett smacks Burgos in the jaw 50,000 times with harder shots than Usman was hitting Colby with. But Colby's jaw breaks and, you know, Burgos stands strong. It's a little bit of a tough situation, but I think that Colby would beat Usman if he takes some time to rally himself. But if he fights him straight away in a rematch, he'll lose. Should the UFC sign James Gallagher? No, but yes, but not now. Not now. Let him beat Ricky Bandejas in a rematch and then ship him over to the UFC. Because if you ship him over to the UFC once he's lost to Ricky Bandejas and hasn't redeemed his loss, you then give Ricky Bandejas the clout of being someone who beat a UFC fighter, and we don't want that. So I think they should make the Bandejas versus James Gallagher rematch and then do that. But James Gallagher is making sick money at Bellator, like crazy money. Not crazy money, but more than he would make in the UFC for sure. So I don't know. It's up to him. There's a lot of fights for him at Bellator. James Gallagher could fight Ricky Bandejas, have that fight. He could then go on to fight Sergio Pettis after that. That's a big fight. Gallagher versus Pettis. That's huge. That would sell out. It's a good fight. One big on the Emmett last night. I know. It's tough. The York rises again, you know. Patchy mix. Yeah, Patricky mix as well. There's some good fighters. Guru, wish your father, Gunnar Nelson, happy Father's Day. I shall. I got him no raps for his present. Hopefully Masvidal can beat Burns and be champion, and then Conor versus Masvidal for the 170 belt. Fuck, this is playing out exactly the way it's supposed to. We should be happy Masvidal ain't fighting Usman. We should. But I don't know. I just think it harms the clout of Masvidal a bit. I've used the clout a bit. You overhyped Burgos, but he could have won. So no, I didn't at all. Lamal Gunnar Nelson, Guru's father. I mean, that fight's close. That's opinion judged. I didn't overhype him at all. I just said it. Look, what did I say about Shane Burgos? He's going to wade into the fire. He's got an amazing chin. He's not going to get KO'd. And he's going to put the pressure on Josh Emmett and outland him. That's basically what exactly the fight went like, except he got dropped by the legendary jab of Josh Emmett in round 3. He was dropped 3 times. He was dropped twice. Were you Howard Swern or OP and Anthony fan? Neither. Neither. I'm too young for those two. I know of them, but I just wasn't in that era. Sugar Sean versus Sugar Shane. Sugar Shane Mosley. Fucking Sugar Shane Mosley. 40 years of age. What the fuck is up with Burgos' traps? I don't know, dude. He's built in a different way. I don't know what is up with Burgos, but I don't know what it is. I think I don't know. He's not juicing because he's not rich enough to juice in MMA. You got to have some money behind you if you want to take some steroids and get away with it without you sort of knowing. But I don't know. It's weird. Burgos is just built weird. I think that's why he looks so big, because he just looks like I don't know. There's a joke in the UK, like you look like a genie from a lamp when you're so top heavy. You're like you're coming out of a lamp, you know? Will Piotr Jan stop Aldo? Yes. 4th round TKO. I think he'll have it done. He had a spine thing. I don't know what that means. It's called genetics, mate. I know. Oh, shit. So funny. 40 years of age, yeah. Douglas Lima versus Gegard Mousasi. Who win it was supposed to happen in May, but COVID happened. I think Lima wins because Gegard is not the same Gegard, in my opinion. The Gegard who showed up against Rafael Lovato Jr. was not in any way the same. I think he actually might have had staph infection against Rafael Lovato Jr., even though he never came out and said that he did. The Gegard who showed up against Lovato Jr. looked like he had staph. Like, he just was not in the same shape. He didn't have the same push, you know. But it's a close fight, man. Gegard Mousasi is depressed. Yeah, I don't know if he's the same anymore. I think that Lima would land a couple calf kicks and Gegard would not have it in him to grit down for the win because he doesn't need it. He's got his money. He's made his career. He can sail off into the sunset already. Lima's still working, still hustling, trying to be the best Bellator fighter of all time. Doesn't mean anything, but, you know, best Bellator fighter of all time has a bit of a ring to it. Lovato Jr. was leaking steroids out of his fucking nips. Yeah, that's true. Who should Justin James fight next if he does decide to stay at lightweight? I don't think he's going to stay at lightweight because he is not a big guy for the division. In my opinion, he should go down to featherweight. And there are some good guys that he could take on down there. Where's this Justin James guy, right? He's not big at all. But then again, Camacho is a huge... You know what? Stay at lightweight and be that savage in the first round every time. I don't even mind. Stay at lightweight. Have that energy. Have that burst in the first round of just absolute non-weight cut drowsiness. You know what I mean? Let me look at the lightweight division. Do him versus Frivola next. Especially if he's looking for a quick turnaround. Frivola's looking for a fight and he just got pulled off the last card. So he's looking for a new fight around August or something, I think he said. So they could do that fight. Him versus Frivola would be good. Or if they don't want to chuck him up too early, they could maybe do him versus... Vince Piquel is coming off a win, but at the same time, maybe do him versus Joe Lozon, who's coming off a win. Listen, there's some good fights to make. I don't think they'll do Joe Lozon. Maybe him versus Omar Morales. That's a decent fight. Camacho was one position above Omar Morales in the rankings, which means that Omar Morales and Justin James are going to be right next to each other in the rankings. That makes sense. Him versus Omar Morales. Sounds good. Piotr Jan. Close but no cigar on Burgos, mate. Emmett would wreck Yair as a beat winner, and interesting. I think he would. I actually think he would beat the winner if Yair is a beat. Emmett's got a weird style. Being the smaller guy with power and you can move like that with your footwork is a little bit... It's difficult when you're a guy who's used to staying at range on the feet. I think Qatar would beat him. Burgos versus Barboza would be such a great fight. See, I don't think that should happen. I think Stevens-Barboza should happen. Loser goes home. But I think that Burgos could take on a fight with Kron Gracie whenever he's looking to get back in the cage. Like, there's a lot of good names coming off losses outside those rankings that Burgos could bounce back against, you know? Maybe wait for a loser of one of the upcoming bouts, like the loser of Ige Qatar, especially if it's Ige. That would make a lot of sense. Who does Brad Riddell fight next? Brad Riddell should fight Renato Moicano next on the Brazil versus CKB-themed card at Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier 3. Adesanya versus Costa in the co-main event. CKB versus Brazil. Renato Moicano versus Brad Riddell on the card as well. CKB versus Brazil. And then Rodrigo Bontorin versus Kai Kara France on the prelims. CKB versus Brazil. We can go through the entire list. Even though Rodrigo's got a fight coming up soon. He should beat the guy. But the guy's fighting's pretty good, though. Burgos should destroy Ryan Hall. I think he'd smash him. Interesting. Emmett auditioned yeah, he would destroy Ryan Hall. His jiu-jitsu defense is good. His takedown defense is good. He's not going to get hit by a spinning back. I think he should take the fights, but I don't think he should get right back in there. I'd like to see Burgos at the end of the year in December, just bouncing back, you know. Yan versus Also predictions, Guru or Guru. You're banned, man. Fuck you. Spamming it that many times. Fuck you. You're gone. See you later, dude. It's fucking annoying. Out you go. Bryce Mitchell Merckx Philly. Indeed. I think Yan beats him in the 4th round TKO, but you got to learn your lesson. Who do you think is the ground and pound king in the UFC right now? The ground and pound king in the UFC. It'd be interesting. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of fighters that could be auditioning for that. Usman can't be it because he takes guys down, but he doesn't like smash them on the ground, you know? I don't know. There's a lot of different people. I think it has to, but Khabib never. When's the last time Khabib TKO'd someone? You know what I mean? Like it was a while ago. So it's kind of difficult. I'm looking for a guy who takes someone down, and if they're down, they're getting beaten up and finished. You know, Jack Hermanson is actually a candidate, but he's too low down in the rankings. So for right now, I guess it would have to be Khabib, just because he's champ. But still, you're not having the spamming. I mean, I don't mind a couple spams if you want to chuck it in there 3 times. When you're just keeping on doing it until I answer, it's just pointless. Give yourself some spacing. If you take 1,000 of the toughest English lads versus 1,000 of the toughest Dagestanis, who would win in a mega street fight? If the 1,000 of the English lads are from London, then those Dagestanis are getting shanked up. There's no way. Knife crime's too rampant here. There is no way we'd lose a street fight. Even if they said fists only, there'd be a couple knives sneak through. There's no way. We're too handy with the knives. There's no way of Dagestanis winning. What are they going to do? Fucking double leg us while we're fucking shanking their kidneys out? Not going to happen. How would Tony versus Felder go? I think Tony would win a decision, but Felder's tough enough to survive. So I think Tony would win a decision. I think it'd be a war, though, but Felder would just get beat up. And he wouldn't be able to KO Tony Ferguson because as much as I love Felder, he's never had KO power. And I don't think he ever will. Jack Hermanson sucks, popular opinion, lol. I don't think he does. I think he destroys Kelvin Gastelum in the 1st round by submission. Arm in guillotine straight away, gets it done. Who should Josh Emmett fight next? The winner of Qatar versus Ige. Michael Chan, especially if it's Ige. If it's Qatar, he might not get the Qatar fight. But if it's Ige, he'll definitely get that fight. Because Ige kind of owes more to the rest of the division. But Qatar's kind of whooped the division. He already beat Burgos and finished Burgos in his mind as well. So he's already done it better than Emmett did it. So he's like, I don't know. I don't think Qatar would want to take the step back. Because if Qatar beats Ige and Ortega beats the Korean Zombie somehow, which ain't going to happen, but it could happen, then Qatar's going to be looking for Brian Ortega in a title elimination bout. Simple as. Just depends what happens in the division, you know. Burgo's still your dark horse. I think he's going to learn from that loss. I think he could still go on and be top 5. I think Emmett's going to be top 5. The division is going to change in the next 2 years. And I think we're going to be looking... I actually don't mind picking Burgo still to be my dark horse. Honestly, I think he's going to rise up again. Because he could have won, you know? But still, in the division right now, I think we're going to see a massive shift. I think in 2 years, there will be no Holloway at featherweight. I think he would have moved on or retired and just defended his belt a couple more times. There will be no Korean Zombie at featherweight. I think if he fails to get the belt again, I think he might call it a day. Maybe. Who knows? But maybe not. Maybe I'm just assuming things. But if he does get the belt, we'll see. Zabit, I don't think he's long for the featherweight division. I think eventually he'll move up as soon as he loses. Yair Rodriguez will probably still be... I think we're going to see a top 5 of Rodriguez, Qatar, Emmett, Allen or Yusuf, and Burgos. Maybe not Ige, though. But Ige's good, so maybe Ige. But yeah, I think the division's due for a massive shift. Those top 5 are not going to be top 5 for long. Will Volkanovski hold the belt for a long time? I don't know, man. I think someone a bit more aggressive against Volkanovski can beat him. I really do. Because you played a point game with him and he can play that point game. Holloway's only 28. Yeah, but I think he'll move up eventually. Like, if he gets the belt back, I don't think he's going to be looking to just start defending it again like he used to. Because what's the point? I think if he gets the belt back, he's going to straight away look to jump up again, you know? Do you think Josh Emmett could beat Alex? Yes. Josh Emmett's probably one of the top contenders to beat Alex Caceres, or Alex, not Caceres, like he's some dominant champion. He's the top contender to beat Alexander Volkanovski. I think him and Korean Zombie have the best chance of doing it. Haven't seen Holloway adjust his game. Yeah, me neither. But we'll see what happens, you know. I guess this will be the big test. Is Whittaker going to retire? If he loses to Till, I could see it happening. It'd be an unfortunate career, even though he became champion. Be a little bit unfortunate for him because he did want to be the best of all time. But he's still young. I don't think he'll retire after losing to Till. I think he'll just say it wasn't his night and he'll jump back in there. Even though that's probably not the best mindset to have, he'll jump back in there. I don't believe he'll retire if he loses. Because he could come back. Listen, you look at outside the top 10, there's some names that are clinging on in that middleweight division that are light work for these guys at the top if they're coming off some losses. Like if Robert Whittaker went up against Gastelum at this point, Whittaker would annihilate him, in my opinion. Like if Whittaker went up there against Anderson Silva, Brad Tavares again, you know, Antonio Carlos Jr., there would be problems for all of those guys. Big problems. So yeah, he's got some bounce back potential, but I think he's going to lose to Darren Till because Elite Strikers beat Whittaker, or make it close in the case of Uriah Hall. Who should Edmund Shabazian fight after he KOs Brunson inside one round? I like the confidence. I really do like the confidence. Edmund Shabazian should be looking to take on the winner of, if it's Romero in the Cannonier fight, then take on Romero. But if Cannonier wins, they're not going to give him one more fight for the title. They'll probably give him a title shot eventually. So just do, if Cannonier beats Romero, then do the winner of Shabazian Brunson, Shabazian, versus maybe the winner of Uriah, the winner of Hermanson Gastelum, maybe. There's some good fights to make. I think that Shabazian's about 3 fights away from a belt. If he beats Brunson, he's going to slide up and slide above. If Hermanson loses to Gastelum, he'll probably be top 8. That's a pretty good ranking spot. But yeah, I think Shabazian's going to jump up in his next fight with a big win over Brunson. Big win. Does Khabib get praise and Blaydes gets none? Because Blaydes is... I don't know. But Khabib does more interesting stuff than Blaydes does. Don't act like that. You know, you say Khabib gets praise. Like, Khabib ain't landing 5 strikes around on top and getting stood up every night. Like, when's the last time Khabib got stood up? Doesn't happen, you know? Top 5 featherweight need to get active already. They need to get active. But I think they're about to be. I think they're about to be initiated in that September month. Give us the September month. Throw Ortega versus Zombie in on August. Zabit versus Yair in September. Of course, Zabit's going to need all the time in the world to prepare for a 5-rounder. Do you think Curtis Blaydes could beat Stipe? I don't know anymore. Volkov's a big guy. I think Volkov could probably do some good stuff against Stipe Miocic, because people don't forget Miocic's only loss was to Struve, and that was a range issue. Now, when Miocic is outranged, there's some problems that go on. But, you know, I think there's a chance that Blaydes beats everyone. But, you know, every fight's different. Do you think Edmund is a bit young to climb that fast? What better time to climb? If you're good enough, like what's he going to do? Just wait a year and get cut from the UFC because he's too young and doesn't want to jump up too quickly? I say go full steam ahead. If you lose at the end of it, you've got extra years to try and make a comeback, rather than waiting until you're 30 to get yourself to a title shot, and then you lose it, and all of a sudden you're 31 years of age, you're leaving your prime. You know, like I'd rather him get there early and have more time to readjust if he doesn't get there. You know what I mean? If there's a chance that Blaydes can never get a title shot. Yeah, if Blaydes wins his next fight, he's getting a title shot for sure. Who's the top 5 guy out of any division, excluding flyweight? Who's the worst top 5 guy out of any division, excluding flyweight? Okay. Why? Well, let me check the flyweight division real quick. I'm assuming you mean men's division as well. Oh, because I'd easily say Formiga. Okay, cool. That's why you excluded that division. Let me look at the actual rankings. Give me a second. Worst top 5 guy in every division. Flyweight. Never mind. We're not even going to go. He's not even top 5 in flyweight either. But I'd say Pantoja's the worst at flyweight, in my opinion. Then bantamweight, the worst in the top 5 would probably be... I think it goes to Sandhagen at this point. I think you kind of got to bump up Cody above of him. Above him, sorry. I think you got to put Garbrandt a bit higher than Sandhagen. But maybe it's Garbrandt or Sandhagen, of course, but probably Sand. I don't know. Garbrandt. I say Garbrandt. Garbrandt's the worst of the top 5 at bantamweight right now. Still has a bit more to prove to me. I don't think he reinvented himself in the Sun South fight. I think he just landed a big punch. Alexander Volkanovski's division. Worst of the top 5 is Zabit. Or no. Brian Ortega's worse than Zabit, in my opinion. Ortega's the worst of the top 5 at featherweight. Lightweight, worst of the top 5. Dustin Poirier. People hate me for that. Why do people hate me for that? I just think Hooker beats him. I would have said Dan Hooker, but I'm like, well, Dan Hooker beats Poirier, so Poirier is the worst of the top 5, I guess. So Poirier, even though he's really amazing and good, I'd still say Poirier. Welterweight, worst of the top 5 is Woodley, easily. Middleweight, worst of the top 5 is Yoel Romero, easily. Light heavyweight, worst of the top 5 is probably John Jones. Corey Anderson. I think even Teixeira could stand a real good chance of KOing Corey Anderson at this point. And then heavyweight, worst of the top 5 is easily Derek Lewis, even though he beat Junior Dos Santos. Ortega, never heard of him. Yeah, Ortega, he's the worst of the top 5 in my opinion. Dan MMA picks biggest spammer in here. He's not really. He doesn't do it too much. Open the blinds, Guru. No, they should be shut. Arnold Allen is 2 fights away from a title fight. Shut up. Stop talking nonsense. No, he's not. The winner of Zabit Yair might be 2 fights away from a title shot. God. Oh my God, you talk nonsense. No offense, dude, but come on. That is some ignorant shit. I know Arnold Allen's on a 7-fight win streak, but who is it against? I'm the biggest Arnold Allen fan here. Nick Lentz, Makwana Mikani, like these. Mads Burnell, who isn't in the UFC, but soon will be returning to the UFC because he's destroying everyone outside of it. But still. Yeah, even I know that Arnold Allen ain't getting a title shot after 2 more fights. There's no way. If he beats Sadiq Youssef, he's going to be probably looking for a floater name in the top 10. Or maybe even another guy ranked him. I think Arnold Allen's about 4 fights away from a title shot if he wins all of them. Zabit Yair will be crazy. That will be some atmosphere. I need it to have a crowd, though. That would be pretty good. Arnold versus Shane and Sadiq versus Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall is rebooking with Lamaster. So that kind of doesn't work. I think Arnold versus Sadiq should happen. And I think Arnold would probably get him. We'll see. But I don't know. It'd be a good fight. Arnold and Sadiq. Very nice indeed. Shane. Arnold versus Shane. Why would Shane fight Arnold? Arnold's looking for a fight now. Actually, Arnold Allen posted on his Instagram. Let me check. He says he has news coming. So he has a fight signed. Let me do some investigative work. Arnold Allen won't be long now. Great Britain. He's got a flag around him. So he's got a fight coming up. Let me see Sadiq Youssef's. Oh, it's all Black Lives Matter stuff. Never mind. Fuck that shit. But yeah, never mind. I thought he was going to post something interesting, but it's just everything is about BLM. But it's cool. All good stuff. Sadiq said he's fighting in August. Well, there you go then. That could be it, because if you were signing a fight in August, you'd probably be signing it within a week from now. Arnold Allen's got fight news. Allen versus Youssef. That's a sick fight. I'm looking forward to it. Emmett Volkanovski, what a matchup. Yeah, that'd be a good fight. That'd be a real good fight. I think I'd even maybe pick Emmett. Bro, you put Zabit over Ortega. Why? I think Zabit would beat Ortega. In a 3-rounder, I think he would beat him. I think Zabit would beat him. He'd just outstrike him, right? So I'll probably go with Ortega. I'll probably go Zabit. Actually, maybe Zabit as well. In a 5-rounder, Zabit would lose. So maybe, listen, they're both as bad as each other. We'll chuck them both in. Korean Zombie versus Yair Rodriguez 2. Who wins? Yair Rodriguez, full camp, beats Korean Zombie. Kicks beat Korean Zombie. Finally, Guru is on the Emmett train. I never counted out Josh Emmett. I don't understand. I don't have to be on a train. I'm still not on a train. But like, I know Emmett can beat a guy his size 100% and probably has the best chance of beating Alexander Volkanovski. Other than Korean Zombie, in my opinion. Ortega round 3, submits Zabit. We'll see. What are the chances Conor fights Ferguson? Not Not very high. I think Conor's going to want to get back in there a bit sooner than later. I think we'll see Conor around September to try and steal the shine from Khabib versus Gaethje. You know for damn sure that once Khabib versus Gaethje gets announced, McGregor's going to announce something straight away just to steal the shine away from Khabib. And he's probably going to have an event in the same month just to affect Khabib's pay-per-view numbers. He probably would do something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. And he'd probably book an event around the same time so he could jump in if something happened, you know. I don't think Ferguson's going to be ready by then. I think Ferguson's going to be back at the end of the year, around December or November. And that's just too long. Does John Jones stand a chance against Typhon? I don't know. Alexander Volkanovski is underrated as fuck. Look at Arnold Allen's recent IG post and look at the second to top comment and look at Arnold Allen's reply. Ooh, we're like Sherlock Holmes over here. Thank you, Watson, for the lead. Mate, it feels like you haven't fought in ages. January 25th was my last fight. Does feel like forever, though. Hoping for something in August. Won't be long now. Yeah. Well, it's Allen versus Yusuf. We found it out, boys. Allen versus Yusuf in August. What cards are in August? Oh, my God. I've got to do more investigative work. Hang on. UFC schedule. Where's the August cards? Qatar Ige is all July. Oh, my God. We got a lot of events to get through. Holm versus Aldana card. It could slide on the main card of that. That's got a weak main event. It's going to need some help on it. Maybe 252. Headline the prelims with Allen versus Yusuf. Anything could happen. I like it, man. Allen's a stud. I like Allen. He beat Nick Lentz with a broken hand in the first round. He'll have my respect for that because Nick Lentz was going after him. Bryce Mitchell versus Andre Fili. Now, Bryce Mitchell versus Hakeem Dawodu. 100%. I think Dawodu's going to get fucked up by someone. I like Dawodu, but people watch his head kick finish and they hear Joe Rogan talk about him on the commentary and think that he's this fucking G. I think Dawodu is very overrated, in all honesty. I like Dawodu as well. I love doing his voice. I'm going to give you a number now, kid. I like Hakeem Dawodu, but it's just... Look at his resume. Hakeem Dawodu's stats. Let's go through his stats. UFCstats.com. Here we go. Hakeem Dawodu versus Julio Arce. Wins the fight. Julio Arce gets a takedown and passes as well. Dawodu wins by split decision. Let me check the numbers and the stats. Dawodu got outlanded him in round 1, outlanded him in round 2 and round 3, but Arce got a takedown and passed into a certain position twice and won a round off of that. I thought Dawodu won, but it was a close fight, and Julio Arce is not top-level competition. Beat Yoshinori Hori, completely dominated him. Very cool. Fought Bokniak. That one was interesting as well, because he did get taken down there again. And that was a close one. I thought Dawodu clearly won the fight, but still making things a bit too close for my liking. A bit too close. Got taken down and immediately submitted by Danny Henry. That's worrying. You know? Very worrying. I just think he's going to get hit with someone who can take him down and immediately submit him again. And if he does fight Bryce Mitchell, it is all over. Or if he fights Grant Dawson, it's all over for Dawodu. But I don't know, man. He's good, but has no snap in his punches, and his defense needs work. The MMA guru. What are you talking about, Dawodu? Yeah, he doesn't have much power in his hands, but he's good, though. He's a good technical striker. Guru, pick what pizza I should get. Quick, meat feast. Guru, I think Ortega finishes Kate and stuffed crust cheese. Guru, I think Ortega finishes Korean Zombie easily. Ortega finished Edgar, better version who was never finished at that time in first round. KZ will be put in the guillotine early. Wait, so KZ's going to shoot on Brian Ortega instead of just outstriking him the whole time? I don't know, man. I don't know about that at all. I don't think that Brian Ortega is going to beat the Korean Zombie. I think the Korean Zombie is going to piece up Ortega pretty badly. But okay. Guru, big fella, what was your heart with for Whittaker versus Till? I know you're a fan of both. I'm equally a fan of both. I'm going with Darren Till. That's who my heart's with on the fight because he's from the UK. It would be good to see a champion out of the UK. But I think my heart's with Darren Till there, but I'm not going to be happy to see Whittaker lose. It's going to crush me that night. I'm not going to be happy after Whittaker versus Till, regardless of the result. Since Nunes has no compaction, in the UFC. What are your thoughts on her trying boxing? Compaction. Contracts in the UFC. What are your thoughts on her trying boxing? I would think she would be looking at a huge payday. Yeah, she would be. I think she would stand a chance against some of the female boxers as well because they're not that good. In every sport, females aren't that good. No offense, but like, they just aren't at all. But still, I think Nunes would probably have a really good chance of taking on some boxing girls. Probably not Clarissa Shields, but, you know, some top 5 girl to set up the big fight probably would do well for Amanda Nunes. I don't know, actually. I think she'd get scored. Nunes is good, but compared to the absolute bums we have in female MMA, she's good. So I don't know. Maybe she'd get destroyed. What am I talking about? She'd get destroyed by boxers, but, you know. Interesting point. Whitaker loses to elite or better strikers, so Mousasi beats him. No. Whitaker's a better striker than Mousasi. Ortega got wrecked by Pillow Hands Holloway. Pillow Hands Holloway. Okay, dude. Ortega is going to light him up on the feet, and KZ always goes for the kill early. No, he doesn't. He doesn't always go for the kill early. He finished Bermudez reasonably late. Not late. Actually, when was the Bermudez finish? I don't actually remember. But he had the fight with Yair Rodriguez that went all 5 rounds, and he looked okay there. Dokarian Zombie. I think it was the 2nd round against Dennis Bermudez, I'm thinking. Or maybe it was late first that he got the uppercut. Let me see. Bermudez was a long time into the first. But yeah, he doesn't go for the kill early, though. You look at the Yair Rodriguez fight. If the kill isn't there, the kill isn't there for him. You know? He's got cardio. He took Poirier into the 4th round and finished him. Yeah, I don't think he does go for the kill early. And if he does, it's just going to be him piecing up Brian Ortega, in my opinion. His last 2 fights, he tried to go for the kill early, bro. Yes, and he got the kill early. $2. Florification. Sup, Guru? Here's $2 you get. Thank you very much for calling me a git. I really like that in some weird way. His last 2 fights, he tried to go for the kill early, bro. Yeah, but he got it. His last 2 fights, he tried to, though. No, he didn't. He just perfectly pull-countered Renato Moicano and clipped him and finished him. And against Edgar, he perfectly pull-countered and ripped a nice little combo and finished him. That's not him going for the finish early. It's just him landing shots that he landed on Yair Rodriguez, but they KO'd the people in front of him rather than Rodriguez having an amazing chin. That's not him going for the kill early. You know? Every shot you throw has got power behind it. You're not thinking to yourself while you're landing these right hands and these jabs, oh, this one's going to KO him. I've been just messing around the entire fight, but this one, oh, this one's coming with some heat. He's not thinking that, in my opinion. I think he's just landing the shots, and some people have the chin and some people don't. One of them, yeah, he did. The other one got knocked out cold in the 5th, and Ortega wrecked better version of Edgar faster. Okay. It's interesting. Ortega was losing to Guida. I mean, Ortega's had some risking. Ortega was losing to Renato Moicano, who Korean Zombie annihilated in the 1st round, until Renato Moicano shot his head into a guillotine and gave it to Ortega. Tough. It's a tough sell to say that Ortega beats Korean Zombie, in my opinion. I think Ortega would probably beat Zabit in a 5-rounder. I'd like that one. But to say he beats Korean Zombie is strange to me, because Korean Zombie doesn't shoot for takedowns. He's a better striker than Ortega. He's got a great chin. I don't know, man. I'm not sold on Ortega. Listen, I don't know. I think Ortega could beat him. Ortega could beat him. Don't get me wrong. But he's not like a massive underdog or anything. So I think Korean Zombie beats him quite handily. If you were losing to Guida, you suck. It's true. You suck and you're BJ Penn at the same time. I thought you meant spa, like a Steve and that. Oh, I thought you meant a spa, Mike Petty. Oh, fucking hell. I thought you meant a spa. You said Zabit beats Ortega, though. In a 3-rounder, I said Zabit beats Ortega. In a 5-rounder, Ortega beats Zabit. Anyone in the history of the planet Earth beats Zabit in a 5-rounder. True. What do you think of Ali and Kamaru trying to jump Colby with their bodyguard? I still don't know what that was about. Ali wants to be considered a fighter. Secretly, that's why he got into the management industry. And Usman was in range to land many shots on Colby throughout that entire altercation. I think I did a breakdown of that altercation. I'm not even too sure. But they were in so many positions to land on Colby in that moment. It was just such a clear display of just getting in someone's face. It's not like Colby was 10 meters away from them the whole time. You know, he was literally a barrier away. They could have reached over and started throwing hands if they wanted to, but they didn't. I have no idea what it was about, though. But fighters cannot take shit talking. They really can't. It's weird. Ortega sucks. I don't think Ortega sucks. I just don't think he's the number 2 guy in the world, in my opinion. Kimbo Slice versus a beat 5-rounder. Dada 5,000 wins by TKO. They would get arrested, bro. There was kids in there crying, Ali and Usman are so dumb. I know. It was like a pregnant woman there as well. Like, have some fucking professionalism, you know? He got mauled by Pillow Hands Holloway. Calm down, dude. Early in Ortega's career, yes, he was. He was younger than 25 at the time. KZ is older now. He was losing to Guida when he was a young guy who's primarily a BJJ guy. Yeah? KZ's older now, but he's looking better and better every single time he fights, in my opinion. How old is the Korean Zombie anyway? 33? He's still got time. He's not out of his prime yet, and he's got until March of next year to be 34. He's got time, man. I just don't think Ortega beats him, honestly. I really don't. Ali is annoying, but he does take care of his fighters. He does. There must be a reason there with him. But then again, once you have so many fighters, you can afford to take care of your fighters a bit, you know? If you had the opportunity, would you hide in the box to scare Khabib? Yeah, probably. It'd be funny. UFC have barely any young fighters. They need to sign more. I'd probably hide in a box in a bear costume and come out and scare him, you know? Ortega picked up boxing and got better. He won a round against Max on the feet. Yeah, he was doing good against Max at one point. Did he win a round against Max, though? Because he did have a moment where he rocked Holloway at one point, but let me see the stats. Holloway versus Ortega stats, UFC 231. Holloway 40-19, round 1. Holloway 66-33, round 2. Holloway 50-30 in round 3. Holloway 134-28 in round 4. Which round did he win again? Interesting. Very interesting. So much brain damage. I think you might be talking about the 3rd round against. I don't think him rocking Holloway once in that 3rd round gives him the 20 strike differential that he needs. I mean, Emmett was winging haymakers the entire time against Burgos, and we're considering maybe giving Burgos a round because he was up by 10. Holloway was up by 20 strikes. Just getting rocked at one point in the round and immediately snapping back into action, I don't think wins Brian Ortega the round. In 3rd round, he rocked Max twice. He won 3rd in scorecards. He won the 3rd in scorecards, man. I don't know, man. That's interesting to me. That's really interesting to me that he won on the scorecards. 20 strikes down, he wins by rocking someone. And he only really rocked him once. The other one was that head kick that kind of rocked Holloway, but he was still good afterwards. And also, when someone gets rocked, fair enough if they're like this. Fucking Kevin Lee and Edson Barboza in all over the place. But when they're like this, yeah, once they get rocked, it's not the same thing. You know what I mean? I think the UFC should sign James Gallagher and then expose that little bitch. Okay, dude. I think James Gallagher is pretty fucking good for a 22-year-old or a 23-year-old, however old he is. James Gallagher, Strabanimal, absolute balloon. My head was a balloon, Yanni and Jacek. I mean, he's beaten some decent guys. He lost to Bandejas, but he beat a guy 7-4, beat a guy 5-2. And when you're a young guy coming up, these are good wins. You know? I think he's good, man. I don't know why James Gallagher gets so much hate. He's 23 years of age. He's got another 4 months before he's 24. And he's beaten a lot of guys, and he's, what, 10-1 now? Decent. I don't mind it. He does need some more work, don't get me wrong, but still. James is great, just can't punch for shit. His stand-up's okay, I think, but he's just he's not defensively sound. Like, his stand-up actually looks kind of good when he throws some leg kicks and side kicks and stuff. Like, he understands what he's doing on the feet, but when people are throwing shots at him, he doesn't have the striking experience to keep his eyes open when people are throwing, you know? So he kind of just sort of sticks his arms out and shelters up a bit. If Conor was racing hot air balloons, he would say my balloon was ahead. My balloon was ahead. It's true. It's true. Thank you for finding a way to spin that round, unbiased. Max outlanded Dustin round 1. I believe that Max got rocked a couple of times in Dustin. And I think one idiot judge gave Dustin 10-8. Yeah, but it was different rocking. You understand? Ortega rocking Holloway was Holloway doing this. Oh, and I'm back. Come get it. We're throwing again. Poirier rocking Holloway was Holloway fucking boing, boing, boing. Whoa, yeah, keep going. But then fucking whoa, all over the place. Barely kept up by the cage a couple times. They were different rockings in Poirier versus Holloway compared to Ortega versus Holloway. Should Johnny... I don't know why they gave... 10-8's are weird, man. I think some judges have their own opinions on what a 10-8 round is. Dustin mauled Max. I think it could have been a draw. $2 non-sequitur, Petsy and Lettuce Fund. Thank you very much for the $20. Non-sequitur, a long-time donator every now and again. I appreciate your daily care packages of cash. Pepsi and Lettuce Fund. Oh, what do you know? I just purchased it with the $20 right now. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And what's this as well? Did somebody say what's it? Yes, they did. And it wants a top 3 guy next. Delusional. Yeah, he's not going to get it. Thank you for the $20 on non-sequitur. I appreciate you, man. But if you ask for a top 3 guy and they can't give you it, their opinion of giving you less than you asked for is different. And here's why I like what Josh Emmett did. I know you get called delusional for asking for a top 3 guy, but when the UFC hears you want someone in the top 3, they think, right, well, we're not going to give him someone in the top 3. Let's look in the top 5. But when you say you want someone in the top 5, they might say, oh, we're not going to give you anyone in the top 5. Let's look top 7. You know what I mean? Like, it sets the standards for the UFC a bit lower. You know what I mean? Yeah, true. Joe Rogan screamed in that fight every time Ortega landed big. Yeah, it was a little bit swayy, but I understand what you mean. Listen, we can agree on this, Dan MMA picks. Ortega's a savage. He deserves to be top 5 of the division because of the wins that he has, and he's dangerous to all opponents. I was asked who's the worst in the top 5. In 3 rounders, I think it's Ortega. In 5 rounders, I think it's Zabit Magomedsharipov. Let's agree to disagree and move on with our lives. Remember when Johnny Walker was supposed to be the next big thing? And now he lost to Corey Anderson and dude nicknamed the Miner. Nikita Krylov. The Miner. Because he goes to the ground. I like that nickname, man. I really do. If you were talking about Nikita Krylov. Yeah, Johnny Walker. Yeah, you were. Right. Guru, who you got in green versus Vellante? I'm picking Vellante. Green's doing this public service thing out and about with John Jones and his crew trying to clean up the community. I think Vellante is going to beat him. I saw what happened in Latifi versus Derek Lewis. This is the Walmart version of Latifi versus Lewis. I think Vellante is going to beat Maurice Green. I think he's going to take him down with just basic wrestling fundamentals because that's what light heavyweights have, you know? You're on crack, Guru. You thought that Dustin versus Max fight could have been a draw. Rewatch that fight. Wow, man. No, I think it could have been a draw. I think it went to Poirier, but it could have been a draw. It was a close fight. What are you talking about? Wow. People are like, what are you watching? Hang on a second here. Let me look up the stats for Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier then. Let's look it up. Holloway versus Poirier. Holloway landed more overall. Can see that immediately. Poirier outlanded him 54-30 in the first round, rocked him a couple times. Could it be a 10-8? Maybe. Maybe it could be a 10-8, probably a 10-9, but let's say 10-8 anyway, just to get that out of the way. Let's say 10-8. Round 2, Holloway outlands Poirier, but Poirier rocks him in a moment. I think the rocking and the bigger shots account for the 1 strike differential easily. I think they could have accounted for a 5 strike differential. We'll give Poirier 10-9. We could have given him 10-9 in round 1, but, you know, let's say 10-8 anyway. This is why I think Poirier wins. Round 3 is Holloway's. Pretty easily, in my opinion. And he had Poirier hurt at one moment as well, where it looked like things might have been finished unless Poirier... Listen, Holloway had Poirier hurt in round 3, went for a flying knee, lost himself the fight because that's exactly what happened in the first fight, and he went for it again, and Poirier was able to recover. But it looked for a moment in that 3rd round like Poirier was going to be finished. 10-9 Holloway. 42-34 in round 4. And he put Poirier in a dash choke at the very end of the round, which is big. And it was in as well. It was an in choke. Round 4, Holloway. Round 5 is a toss-up. I think it goes to Poirier because he landed somewhat of the bigger shots. But listen, that round is close. 24-26. I think Poirier could have done it, but that could have been scored differently. I think Poirier won, but listen, it was close. It was a close fight. Poirier destroyed him. He didn't destroy him. I had Poirier 1, 2, and 5, Max 3 and 4. It was a close fight. And if that first round wasn't scored a 10-8, that's 29-28, 3 rounds to 2. I don't think that counts as destruction. And that round 5 could have, who knows, with some dodgy judges, could have been given a draw. You never know. Interesting, though. But yeah, good stuff. Poirier gave Max CTE. Yeah. It was good he didn't do it at featherweight, though. Like, I'm glad Max took that CTE without having to cut so much weight, you know. Even if he lost the last 180-8, win, shim the fight. I don't know what 180-8 mean. If you're talking about strikes, Holloway outlanded him 181-178. 29-28, it wasn't a free rounder. Well, whatever the equivalent is. 48-47, sorry. You know what I fucking mean, guys. Come on. Don't try and nitpick little mistakes that I make to overall win your argument because you can't argue with me. Come on, guys. Only strike and Wonderboy beats everybody? No. He didn't do it with Darren Till. I don't think Wonderboy beats everybody only striking. He probably lose to Adesanya as well. Probably get his legs chewed up by Adesanya pretty easily. Doesn't have the power. No, I don't think he beats everybody. Maybe at welterweight, though. Maybe, yeah, welterweight is interesting. You can make an argument there. But to say he's going to beat everybody, I mean, he lost to Darren Till, and the stats prove it as well. Till was going to get blitzed by Whitaker. We'll see, man. We'll see. I win every argument with you. Lo, I'm the guru now. I'm the captain now. You literally just called me out for accidentally using a 3-round scoring for 2-1 rather than a 5-round scoring for 3-2. I don't think that's winning the argument of me saying it potentially was really close between Holloway and Poirier. $20, though. Thank you, Non Sequitur, one more time. Appreciate you. Guru, you making a parlay this week? Yes, I am. I don't know what parlay I'm going to make, but I was playing with it a bit earlier. And then I was playing with the parlay as well. But let's look up the parlay. I'll give you a quick little what I'm thinking already with my parlay. I'm going to include Dan Hooker because he's a juicy underdog. UFC. Where is it? UFC. There we go. UFC. I'm going to go probably Dan Hooker. There's money to be made on Lins versus Bosa, and I think Lins gets it done. So Felipe Lins. Plus, he's been more active, and he didn't take any damage in the Andrei Arlovski fight. So I'm going to go with Lins, Dan Hooker, Gian Vellante, another huge underdog, and then slide in Mike Perry by TKO whenever they open up that betting availability. But if you just bet Mike Perry, you bet yourself £20 to win 385. I think that's a pretty good betting parlay, to be honest with you. Look at that list. Felipe Lins, Gian Vellante, Dan Hooker, Mike Perry, $20 or £20 gets you £385. And that's without a boost or anything. And I might even chip in for 30. What does £30 get me? 577. Listen, those are good odds. Give me the $20, by the way, again, one more time, just because it's a lot of money. MMA, the parlay guy, Guru. What site do you use to get? Just anything. Guru, can you leave this one up, please? Yes, I can. Brent Cox. You know what? Has a weird name, but yeah, I can leave it up for you, good sir. You know who can put a bad beating on Izzy? It's Usman. Pins against the cage, annihilates the body, and takes him down constantly. Usman is very big for 170. Imagine him at 185. Yeah, but he's really good friends with Adesanya, so he wouldn't do that. Because they're such good friends, even though they never spoke to each other until both becoming champion in the UFC. They're great friends. Great friends. You know? Usman literally never met him before, walked up to him on an Embedded episode and just started speaking Nigerian, and they somewhat got along. And Usman's acting like it's him. I mean, he's fighting Burns, and Burns has trained with him for the past, 6-7 years? But Adesanya, no, we're too good of friends. And me versus Khabib, way too good of friends. Crazy. Does Zhang Joanna stats next? Yeah, we'll do some stats for Zhang versus Joanna. And then we'll come off after that. Joanna versus Zhang Statuya. Here we go. Adesanya Romero. Oh, yeah, it's on the same card, sorry. Here we go. Zhang versus Joanna. Round one. Both of them land the same amount of shots. Zhang lands the bigger shots. Zhang wins the round. Round 2, Joanna and Jacek wins the round. She lands 32-20. Good job, Joanna and Jacek. Round 3, Zhang wins the round, lands the better shots. Does get a takedown at some point as well. Yep, gets a takedown. wins that round, even strikes 38-38. Zhang lands the bigger shots. 40-40 in round 4. Zhang lands the bigger shots, wins the round. Round 5, Yuani and Jacek. 3-2 Wei Li Zhang. Pretty easy. Colby calls her Joanne. Yeah, the booby woman from Poland. I like Colby, man. He's funny. Is that brother connection low? When I see a Canadian, we lock minds and boom. Interesting. Perry is going to make love with the girl's chin and bury it in the woods afterwards. I don't know why that would be your description of how he KOs him, but interesting to see where your mind is wandering. Who did you say for the parlay? Felipe Lins, Jan Vellante, Dan Hooker, and Mike Perry. But I'm going to add in Perry by TKO to try and boost it up even more. But that's a good parlay in my opinion. I'm not going to bet Luis Pena because Karma Worthy's dangerous and Pena's way too heavy of a favorite. Way too heavy. But Perry's favorite is justified in my opinion. Very justified. Jake is funny, lol. You never know, Lamau. You never know. I pray to the God he portrays him and they fight for 185. That's such a smart career move from Usman. Yeah. That would be a great move. It really would. And they would... Listen, man. Here's what I don't... I'll say this one more time before the end. Stop donating money to these countries. Start doing your business in the countries. I've said it so many times. If Usman versus Adesanya happened in Nigeria, it would honestly change everything the way it works. If it happened in... let's say Francis Ngannou fought in wherever he's from. I don't even know. But it would boom the economy massively. They'd sell out an arena. All of the businesses around would do good as well. All of them would be paying taxes. All of the people that go to the arena and all of the kids would then aspire to be fighters as well. Cameroon, there you go. I think it would benefit them. I don't understand all these... the donations don't do anything. You got to just do your business in the country. Bring the business to Africa, in my opinion. But yeah, goodbye. See you later. Thank you for watching. It was Gerd and two dudes fucking... oh, well, that's the last one we're ending on there. Thank you very much, Adam Cram. Goodbye, everyone. Now you can't do your Bantamweight tournament since Lad is out. I know it's unfortunate, but oh well. Africa is unreliable, though. We're just going to end it there before we get into any more rabbit holes. Goodbye, everyone. Toodle pip. Thank you for watching. And goodbye once more. Like and subscribe. See you later. MMA Puru. Thank you. Appreciate that.